we respectfully acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional owners of the land in which this video was filmed.
Hi, I'm Crystal Kinsella. I'm a proud Jawoyn and Wiradjuri woman, a supply diversity expert and published author. Welcome to Meet the Mob, a YouTube series dedicated to showcasing Black excellence in business. Here I get to interview deadly First Nation business owners from around the country and learn about their why. Today I'm joined by Bianca Stawiarski from Warida Wholistic Wellness, who will share with us her why she got into business and why she does what she does. So to kick it off, tell us who you are.
Badimaya, thank you for having me. Yeah, so who am I? I'm a bit of everything. You know, we look at labels. So I'm a mum, business owner, writer, change maker, award winner, yes, and healer, I guess, is probably my most well-known for thing. Yeah. And I'm really focused on changing the narrative of what healing looks like. Yeah. Because so often people come to see me and they've been through all those systems, and I'm their last hope. Yeah. And so I'm there to remind people that they are innately, they know how to heal themselves. Yeah. And so I think that's who I am: healer, author, mum, change maker.
Be whatever you want to be, right?
Whatever label you want to have.
I love that. How did you get into this sort of work?
Well, you know, much like many other people that are in my profession, life hasn't been so great for some things. And I had retired from the public service and I thought, what am I going to do? I'm just going to be a lady of leisure. And then I separated from my husband and I realised that I suddenly had to make some decisions. Yeah. And I had 3 people on one day tell me, you should do this as a business. So I was doing this voluntary, as we do, give back to community. And I thought, well, that sounds like a really great idea. Yeah. So I did it. And I started that day. And what a ride it's been. It's just, I studied, I threw myself into everything, studied and did things voluntary and then started to charge and then, you know, the whole business journey when you're first starting. And so many opportunities have come my way. It's, you know, I ended up moving internationally, you know, offering services internationally. And that was because someone approached me, not because I intentionally went out. Yeah. So same thing, accessing all those opportunities.
Yeah. So what does holistic wellness look like from a service provision?
Yeah. So for me, Warida means wedge-tail eagle. That's in my Badimaya language. And what that means is looking at well-being from up above. Yeah. Okay, that's what we're talking about, holistic. So looking at well-being from up above, not just mental health, which is my speciality, but not just mental health, but economic empowerment. Because we know our mob, you know, generational wealth and wealth creation.
Doesn't exist.
No. Or how to do that. Or the historical capital to help build us up. Yeah. So looking at that physical, mental, spiritual, economic empowerment, all of that stuff all together and how that all links together rather than just taking one very narrow snapshot. And the other thing I wanted to do was not just work with mob. Yeah. I wanted to help everybody. That sounds huge. But I ended up focusing on women because what I found was that it's when women become empowered that they inspire their children, their partners, and then their communities. Yes. And suddenly this ripple-on effect. And I think women share more in that way. They say, hey, sis, you know, I'll help pull you up here. Yeah. So I focused on that, on women, because I thought that around the world our communities are in crisis, whether we're mob or not. And I needed to change something. But I couldn't do it alone. So I had to pick people to work with who will then support other people.
Yeah, and it has that sort of ripple flow
Absolutely.
effect. Most definitely. So you're a published author.
Yes.
You've been involved with, is there a few books, isn't there?
Yeah,
Talk us about those.
What have I got? I'm just looking out the window here, the beautiful Ghana country. I've got 5 co-authored books.
Wow.
And I've just got one coming out next week, which is really cool. And then I've got a children's book that I've written myself called Ngardi Guwanda and Jindi Jindi coming out for NAIDOC Week. So that's,
oh my gosh.
Ngardi Guwanda means grandmother tree in Badimaya, and Jindi Jindi means willy wagtail. So it's a story about a young girl speaking to grandmother tree.
Yeah.
And so that's coming out in NAIDOC Week. And what's really exciting is kids from all over Australia are illustrating the book.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. And at the end of the year, I've got another book that I've written or currently writing. Yeah. My publisher's giving me a due date. Currently writing called Ngardi Guwanda, which means deep listening, a soul's yarn about well-being. So it's all the things that we need to say about well-being, all the things that a lot of people are too scared to say.
Yeah.
And that's more about us actually innately knowing how to heal.
Yeah.
So that's coming out at the end of the year. But I've had the opportunity to co-author a lot of books, and what I really love about them is that ngalama yugaja, that reciprocity, is that the majority of my books actually go to scholarships. So I get a small portion of what I sell. Yeah. The rest actually go to scholarships for women in business, or the next one that's coming out next week goes to...
What's the title of that book?
Umbutu, on whose shoulders we stand.
Oh, wow.
I know, I had to be involved in that one. And so that one is actually going to scholarships for women and girls in education in Zimbabwe.
Oh, nice.
And so everything is about giving back. I haven't decided what's going to happen with the wellbeing book at the end of the year yet. Yeah. But that's the important part. It's not just about creating these stories or spinning a yarn, telling a yarn. It's actually about what we do with that. Yeah. And if I can help community in some way by sponsoring somebody or so they can move into business or access education, then that's a fantastic opportunity.
Most definitely. It's all that reciprocity, but it's that kind of continuing to build the legacy and pass on and create those opportunities, because you're in that position where you're able to be able to do that. So what's the future hold for you?
Oh my gosh.
That transition from government to working for yourself, being an author, mum, and all the way through that. Yeah. What comes next?
I've got so many things on the thing at the moment. I actually really enjoy writing. Yeah. Surprisingly, it's something that I've fallen into because it's a way that I can reach lots of people. Yeah. And helping them to understand that we have to include country. We can't take healing out of country. We have to include community. Yeah. It's when we pull people out into isolation that their healing isn't as quick as it could be. But I'm currently doing a PhD part-time.
Oh, just to add it on even thicker.
I know.
Luckily you like writing.
I love
that
writing.
Would help with the PhD, the thesis for that. What's your thesis on?
So it's called Ngardi Guwanda, which is deep listening, Indigenous Healing Practices and Lived Experience of Plural Communities. So plural communities are people with a diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder, which is my area of expertise. Yeah. And what is different about this is, yes, I do not have time to do a PhD. Even part-time, I don't have time to do it. But actually, the amazing plural communities that I work with have charged me to do this, have said that we need this knowledge to be out in the world. And so that's why I'm doing it. Yes. Not because I've got any time to do it in, but
it's always the way, right?
Yeah, and it's magic because these people that come to see me they've just been let down in every step of the way. And the moment that we take them outside, and the moment that we talk about country and spirit and connection and all those kinds of things, and see the people that they are, the healed people that they are, that's where everything changes. So that's one thing I'm doing. I actually want to write more. I surprised myself and really enjoyed writing the kids' book. So I've got a whole story. A whole adventures that I want to continue on with.
That's so great.
With those characters. What else? I want to expand more internationally. So I already have quite a large cohort in the UK and some in the US, but I actually want to expand further than that. Yeah. Because I think that same thing, the way we talk about healing is applicable to everybody.
And, definitely.
And to be honest, no one, but especially no woman, should be living when they are dimming their light, that they are making themselves less than. It's about getting up and standing up and actually embracing who you are. And damn, we're amazing.
Definitely.
Absolutely amazing. And so that's my next steps, I think.
Expanding around the world now, I think there's so much relevance, and what you'll probably encounter if you haven't already is the connections and the parallels that we'll draw with other First Nations or Indigenous people around and women around the country. And I know that that's been my experience with my friendships in Canada and in New Zealand as well. So
because we're all talking about the same thing, we might just call it something different.
Yeah.
And I think for me what's important is that Badimaya is put in anything that I write, because Badimaya has a very real risk of becoming a sleeping language. Yeah. So I'm on a working group at the moment to create a learning portal for Badimaya. And not that I have a lot of time to participate, but
one more thing to add.
One more thing to add. But I actually use Badimaya through my language, and it's interesting when I hear non-Aboriginal people say Barani Mata, which means hello or good, or that makes me happy.
Yes.
Because I hear, and it's like I've got my ancestors cheering, going, yes, it's being spoken. And to see that that's gone internationally, to see that some of the books I've co-authored that have got Badimaya in have gone to the Academy Awards and all those kinds of things, and that's cool.
It is.
It's super cool. I'm so excited about that. So that's kind of my next steps. Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So look, I mean, a lot of people that I work with are within the corporate sector. What would you say to any of those guys around thinking about holistic wellness internally to help them on their reconciliation journeys? Like, what would be your approach or your message to them?
I've actually got two messages. Yeah. Because whilst I work with women on the grassroots level and also First Nations businesses, that's the economic empowerment side, I actually work at the systems change level as well, that corporate level. So what I would actually suggest to corporates, governments, that kind of level, organisations, is that you need to look at the systems that are in place that continue to re-traumatise mob or anyone coming into services. So I'm really passionate about trying to change that. So people understand that right from the receptionist that comes into the service, when you come into the service and the receptionist sees you, and they're not recognising that what you're experiencing is a trauma response. And they press the alert distress button and call the police, and that starts a whole nother journey for people. So that's the bit. If corporate and government want to be true about reconciliation, then they need to change the systems in their organisations that continue to reinforce
and
racism. Perpetuate, absolutely. And put our mob especially on journeys through the justice system that they really shouldn't have been on because no one was listening. So that's the bit. That's the bit that I think is probably the most important.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, wants to do some work with you, how do they do that?
Contact me. I'm always there. I don't have a lot of capacity for individual one-on-one, but I'm really passionate about systems change. I have amazing collaborations with, oh my gosh, deadly First Nations facilitators, therapists. You know, it's all about collaborations. They can visit me on my website.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll put the link up there.
We will, yeah.
The biggest thing I want people to think about is that, and I'm going to say this right to you because you're listening, the people that you work with are people. And so often we dehumanise people coming into services by calling them patients or clients or number 365 or whatever it is. The healing occurs when we actually connect person to person, not therapist to broken person. You know, none of that. Yeah. That's the bit that we need to remember. And if we remember that, oh my gosh, so much can change.
Yeah.
Including corporate to supplier.
Yeah.
We're all people. And if we just used that principle, we would change the experience.
Definitely. Yeah, no labels.
No labels.
No stereotypes, no hierarchy. Strip it back. We're human at our core.
Absolutely.
And that's where we need to have as the starting point.
And don't pigeonhole Black businesses into just doing Aboriginal things.
Yeah.
That's my pet peeve.
I know.
I want to do everything.
I know. I'm a woman business owner.
Yes.
Not just the Aboriginal business owner, right? So
absolutely. Just business owner.
Exactly. Just got to change the narrative and keep pushing that. Well, it's been so great to have a yarn with you. If there's any other kind of quick final message you wanted to leave my audience with, I'm really happy for you to share that now.
I think just engage in what you're doing, because what you're doing is actually giving people a diverse view on what Aboriginal businesses are all about. And I think that's the important thing.
Definitely.
And buy products. Buy service and products from us. You know, we've got amazing First Nations businesses, not just artists or construction or tourism. There is such a diversity. There's lawyers, there's therapists, there's so many people. Actually contract them. That's how you can create change, because that creates generational wealth, and then we give back to community.
Most definitely. It's that little ripple effect goes a really long way, and I couldn't have said it better by just saying buy from Aboriginal businesses.
Yeah.
Give them contracts.
Absolutely.
Purchase.
And pay them on time.
Yes. None of this 90 days. 14-day payment terms.
Yes.
Instant money.
Absolutely.
Oh, alrighty. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the latest episode of Meet the Mob. And make sure you connect with Bianca online and share her story with your networks. Until next time.